2 weeks since its launch in the US, Sora 2 is already making headlines.
Woof, 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 I'm a dog!
The fake videos were created using OpenAI's tool Sora. The Screen Actors Guild warns AI is using stolen performances to put actors out of work.
Dismount right now!
Users have wasted no time making silly fake videos like this one of internet celebrity Jake Paul applying makeup. But there's a more sinister application too, with the images of dead celebrities being used for entertainment. Earlier this week, the daughter of comedian Robin Williams publicly called out the use of her father's image, saying it was maddening to watch the legacies of real people condensed to make horrible TikTok slop.
That's why we're launching Sora 2.
Within a week of its launch, OpenAI's CEO said it was listening to feedback and would give people more control over their likeness within the app.
Yes, that's me running AI from the back. Can't stop.
AI experts say they can easily tell when something is AI generated, but for the average person, it's getting harder and harder to notice, which is a reminder of just how easy it's becoming to distort reality and even rewrite history.
Quack, quack.
Ask not what your country can do for you, unless we're talking about the Epstein files.
Quite
Yikes.
staggering. OpenAI is promising to give copyright holders more control over character generation, but has so far given no details of how it will work or be enforced. Let's talk about this now with Jeannie Patterson, co-director at the Centre for AI and Digital Facts. Jeannie, welcome to you. Quite eye-opening. Perhaps run us through how Sora 2 actually physically works and how different it is from what's already out there.
I'm a lawyer, not a computer scientist, but Sora works using a diffusion method, which we've already seen in generative AI. So we're already familiar with the capacity to go text to image. This is text to video. So it's using more GPU, more chips, more power to produce moving images as opposed to those still images that we were doing a while ago. I remember a while ago, everybody was doing themselves as Barbie in a box or themselves as a Ghibli studio character. This is just more processing power, allowing us to make realistic videos from text with, I would add, higher energy use. If we're worried about the images, just think what video costs in energy terms and processing power.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeannie, what do you make of the content that's been created so far that is out there?
Well, I think I've heard it described as slop by more than one person. My observation would be, why on earth are we doing this? Just why?
Yeah, what is the motivation?
Actually, the motivation is interesting. We know that OpenAI likes to be ahead of the trend. It likes to be coming out with better and more material. People weren't that happy with the last version of ChatGPT. This is their newest offering. OpenAI doesn't charge for this at the moment. So it's interesting to think about what it's costing them and how they're going to eventually monetize it. But they like to be tech on the edge. And we also know that when President Trump came into power, he talked about building a whole lot of data centers. In the US, there's a talk of a lot of money being invested in the capacity of AI. Presumably, that investment is fueling Sora.
What about the legal status, the legal issues then? Making unauthorised copies of software is illegal. Making unauthorised copies of people is fine?
Well, the intellectual property issues around generative AI generally are really unclear. There's recently been a settlement in the US with Anthropic for Anthropic used pirated works, pirated books to train its generative AI tool. That was found to breach copyright, but training a generative AI in the US on copyright material is thought to be radically transformative, at least in lower courts in California, which means that of itself isn't a copyright breach. But this is a whole new dimension. This is people taking copyright material, but also trademark material and reproducing it in silly, and in some instances, dangerous videos. Now, OpenAI has said they're going to solve the problem by letting people opt out. we still have to see how that works. The important thing is we have no copyright. We have no protection in our own faces, except, some countries in the EU have talked about or have given people copyright in the faces, but generally we have no right to our face. So yes, people can create either amusing or horrific videos using our faces, and we have no real protection other than through defamation laws, so that if it was challenging or undermining a person's reputation, or if it was using an image to sell a product, which has happened a lot with Taylor Swift, there might be cause for saying that's misleading conduct under the Australian consumer law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeannie, I was going to say, in some of those pictures that we've just been looking at, they are brand names, or you've got somebody like SpongeBob there. Now, they would be copyrighted, wouldn't they?
Well, they'll have trademarks in those images, actually. A trademarks is even a broader protection. It's protection over I have the rights over that particular image because it has unique features. So one would think that that's an infringement of trademark law. But that never seems to, that hasn't actually stopped the AI industry at this point in time. So, but I'd have to say the concern about this technology to me is not about the intellectual property. That is a concern, but we're already dealing with that generally. The concern about something like Sora is, what do we think we're doing for society? So creating AI actors is putting real actors out of work. Creating AI videos is putting real people who make films out of work. I have seen AI created training videos for organisations. Here's how you do health and safety with AI actors. Why do we think it's a good idea to put people out of work? And moreover, why do we think it's good to create hyper-lifelike images and video from text in a world where democracy is already challenged by an erosion of trust and confidence? People already don't trust institutions. They don't trust doctors. They don't trust journalists. They don't trust a lot of things. And here we are just eroding trust totally. We no longer, we can't believe what we read. We can't believe what we see. We can't even believe videos now. I don't think that's a great thing. And I think we need to think as a society really strongly about what it does to us as humans and what it does to what we believe in.